something.
Oh, he's not doing it.
What was that?
I guess I should like put gloves on so it looks like I'm doing something.
It is that time. We've been here a few minutes.
30.
It's time to get started and cranking on this thing today.
Gotta wait for the Celsius to kick in, and then we'll be cranking.
We gotta take the body off this today.
For what?
Probably not today, but maybe by the end of the video. Guess you'll have to stay tuned through the whole video to see if we actually
Video's gonna be an hour
can make
long.
that happen. Hey, I'm good with an hour-long video.
Okay.
Nice mask.
Thanks.
Protecting your lungs. That's my tripod. I'm about to set that up. I'm about to use that.
Hey, you don't need this stuff, right?
No,
I'll throw it away.
Steve and Val do. We're gonna use that in the car.
That's scrap though. They don't need that.
That is not scrap. That is usable pieces of carbon fiber.
You don't. You want to use fresh carbon. That's what you want.
That is fresh beneath the protective coating.
Look, I'll protect it more.
All right, so as you may can tell, it's another day on Val and Steve Morris's 2010 Camaro drag and drive car. Yeah, we're pushing to get the body off this thing pretty soon. So Eddie's working on fitting wheel tubs, which yeah, he's already done that one, but we're gonna show you, we filmed that yesterday. So I'll put that in a time lapse that's coming up. And then I am gonna work on some threaded inserts. We've got some laser cut pieces coming to mount the switch panel. Once I mount the switch panel, I'll mount the parachute handle. We also have a kind of a custom piece coming for the throttle pedal assembly that I've built, or it's going to be part of the throttle pedal assembly. Basically, I'm trying to make it to where everything is adjustable, but I can at least work on some other things. So let's get through the intro and I'll show you exactly what I'm about to work on. And then we're gonna get to work. Are you actually pretending or are you actually working?
I'm working. You're distracting me.
I'm distracting you.
My boss would not be pleased with you.
Taking the edge off.
Yeah, just trying to like I use the file to take the outer plastic off so that I can see the edge and see how smooth it is.
That does look really cool with the profile deal.
I think it's gonna look cool with all this.
So one of the things we've done with this car is these strips here. And I know some people and some other companies just drill and mount to the roll cage. Yeah, I mean, it's lighter. And I mean, I like the look of it inlaid in, I mean, so like envision this, all the roll cage being like the gunmetal silver or dark silver, and then the carbon fiber being inlaid down into the thing. I think that's gonna look awesome. But I have seen people or companies just rivet right to the roll cage. I just don't like a lot of holes in the roll cage. Personal preference. Obviously, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Ooh, that's kind of a weird saying. Something we say here in the South, I guess. More than one way to accomplish the same goal. Sure. So, I am going to work on some threaded inserts, or maybe I'll work on welding the strips in here. Multiple things I can get done today. I need to weld strips, because obviously there's got to be a panel there to close off the front of the tub, but we'll wait till Eddie gets the tubs mounted back in. But in the meantime, the first thing I think I'll do is work on dash mounting, get that squared up the rest of the way. Just got some painter's tape kind of holding it in to mock it up to begin with. And then I'm going to machine a couple of threaded inserts to weld in up here, some small ones, so that later down the road, if they ever add lightweight doors with plastic windows, because with a plastic window, you need a latch at the top of the window to hold the top of the window in. I mentioned this in another video, but maybe not everybody has seen that video because y'all are paying more attention to this build video, this build series. But we're gonna make it where they can bolt on a hoop here to catch, you know, for those little quick release. I think it's like an aircraft window latch thing. But, you know, anything with a plastic window should have that, because as the air rolls off the, you know, at speed, as it's coming off around the front windshield area, this becomes low pressure area and it tries to suck the door windows out. And if you get to a point where that door window pulls out far enough to get into the airstream, it's gonna rip the door off, well, rip the door glass out, and then most likely it's taken most of the door with it. Actually, Tom Bailey has had that happen to his original 69 Camaro drag and drive car. Just happened to Kyle from Boosted Boys at Cletus and Cars Indy. I don't know if he had the latches, but he ripped the door apart, and I would bet that that's happening. I've even noticed on Soccer Mom with her factory doors, if you watch the video, there's an air gap that's opening up here where the like from the camera angle in here, you can see the window, and it's opening up as it's going down the track. Not ideal. It's stressing all of the internals in the door. So that's something we'll need to address eventually in Soccer Mom, or we'll just put the lightweight stuff back on Soccer Mom to go out and go fast, because we gotta see if we can get that thing down in the low sevens. So I'm gonna stop jibber jabbering, to borrow a Taylor Ray line, and we're gonna get to work. So here we go. So first part of this time lapse is Eddie working on trimming the wheel tub to fit the chassis of the car. You can see he's following it, or following a line that we actually used a paint pen so that it sticks really good, and traced the rivet strip, or that little scalloped rivet strip on that inside corner there. And then we have a special blade that we picked up that's for cutting carbon. Fits in our Milwaukee jigsaw, and we use the daylights out of that thing. And you can kind of see now he's polishing or grinding off just a little bit of the carbon to make it fit and be kind of parallel to the line, because obviously the line kind of is traced really well to the scallop strip, but then beyond that, you know, it's the paint line is just a little bit wider because it's on the carbon and not the scallop strip itself. Anyways, got all that traced and cut out, and now we're going to move into me working on making mounts for the dash. And not only am I making a mount, I'm actually making a guide. So I'm making two pieces per side here. One is kind of a shelf for the top corners of the dash to sit on. And one of the things I do with these little shelves, I guess we could call them, is I've got it profiled where it fits around the tube. So it'll get welded around the tube, and then when you look through the windshield down at the dash, you see the fiberglass dash sitting nicely on top of this little shelf. I remember seeing cars years ago where, you know, you'd see a nicely put together car where the dash bar fits really nice, and you can tell everything where the dash bar passes, or I guess you can call it the dash bar, or the A-pillar bar passes down through the dash. It just looks professional. It looks fit and finished nice. And then you see some cars where that's not done. And I can remember seeing that back, you know, before I started building cars and wanting to do that really nice. So one of the ways we do that is with these little extra trim panels. And so far, it seems to have worked out pretty good for us. It just makes it look finished, I guess is kind of what I'm after here. So I used some 50 thousandths thick 4130 chromoly plate just to keep everything nice and consistent. The chromoly is a lot stiffer than like some regular mild steel sheet metal would be. So it's kind of nice because these side pieces that I'm working on, there's actually going to be a Zeus fastener that goes through the dash, through this plate, and the spring will be mounted to this plate so that when you clip the dash in, you know, it holds everything together. So the top of the dash, the top corners of the dash are sitting on the shelf that's up, kind of sealing off the corner of the window. And then the dash is being held to the car by these side mounts, as well as there's going to be some mounts up under the lower edge of the dash on a piece that I have yet to fabricate. So now you can kind of see how I'm trimming out one of those shelf pieces. You can kind of see the egg-shaped curve, I guess you could call it, where it fits around the dash bar, and then that gets folded in about the middle of that, which you'll maybe be able to tell when I get it held up to the car here in a second, to where it gives that shelf some vertical support, and it's all in one piece. So use some manila envelope to kind of get my base pattern, and then take that over, cut it out of the chromoly plate, and then we bring it back to the car, a little bit of touch up with the grinder, sand all the oxidizing off of the tube, because we do use that oxidizing etching spray to keep it from rusting. And then now you can see that fold that catches that tube there to give that top shelf some vertical support. You know, maybe this is a little too much detail for all of you guys, or maybe this is a little boring, but it's kind of showing you how we do some things here at the shop. And to begin with, I'm only going to very lightly tack these pieces in, because how often do you get it absolutely dead perfect the first time? So tacking it in, and I'm actually using some silicon bronze, kind of like a brazing rod, just because it's easier to break when I go to take it off, and really for welding some non-structural things, the silicon bronze is plenty. And actually, through some of my airplane part building experience, silicon bronze is actually an okay filler material for welding like small airplane engine mounts. I typically would use a different filler rod when I was building engine mounts for a local small airplane company, but the silicon bronze is pretty sturdy, I guess is all I'm really trying to say. So we get the dash mocked up in here now. Obviously you kind of need an extra hand for some of this mock-up stuff. So Eddie and I are kind of working on the same car at the same time, but I need a hand, he comes up and helps me, or he needs a hand, I go back and help him. Definitely a team effort on this thing. And we are getting quite a bit of work done on it, because, you know, we're hoping if we don't get everything wrapped up completely to get the body off on this Friday, which will be today as this video is coming out, we're working on this car right now live as you guys are watching this video possibly. So maybe the body comes off today, or it might be into next week, because we are waiting on some other small pieces that are coming in from laser cutting. But one of the things that we are doing to this car is a lot of the rear support structure, and even a lot of the pieces in the car, like this dash mount that I talked about a minute ago, the brake pedal assembly bolts in, the throttle pedal assembly is going to bolt in, and I mean, it's going to be kind of fabricated to where it's on like an adjustable plate with multiple holes in it, and it will have the ability to be removed. So like for the passenger seat, for example, all I'm going to do before this thing goes to powder coat is weld some large threaded inserts into the passenger side of the car, and that will be where we fabricate brackets off of the other aluminum seat, and then the seat will just bolt in as kind of a module. So I'm also doing the same thing with this lower dash mount that I'm talking about. I will machine a 1/4-28 threaded kind of sleeve that we will drill into the roll cage. It will get welded, so there will be like a threaded insert into the roll cage, and then across the lower part of the dash. So that threaded insert will get welded in like under that side brace for the dash. Kind of this right there, right about where the door jamb ends on that upper X bar from the dash, or that goes up to the dash bar. So that'll get welded in on that bottom side, and then we will have a sleeve with a 1/4-inch hole in it that will bolt to that threaded insert. But then off of that sleeve, we will we'll bend up and then weld a little bar, like a 3/8 bar that goes across the whole bottom of the dash there. And then it will have some Zeus tabs off the bottom of it in 2 or 3 places maybe. So all it takes you is two Zeuses on the bottom, 2 Zeuses on the side, and the dash pops out, and you can access everything that's behind the dash. Now, the actual digital screen will be mounted to the roll cage as well, so it will stay in place when the fiberglass dash is removed. So, just like I'm talking about with the threaded inserts for that dash piece, we are also doing that for the rear quarter panel supports, the rear of the carbon fiber tub supports, and also the side filler panels that are going to be closing off the trunk floor from the back of the tub to the bumper. So with this thing being expected to go over 200 miles an hour, we have to think about things like underbody aerodynamics. And for those of you who watched Sick Week, Brett LaSala, that won the whole thing, his Snot Rocket Mustang, on day 1 or 2, the air got underneath the edge of the bumper and ripped the bumper off the car. Modern Mustangs and modern Camaros both have a pretty large rear bumper these days. So it's kind of important that we manage the airflow even underneath the car. So that's kind of what we're working on here. Eddy's working on the rear of the carbon fiber tub support, and it's also going to support the bumper cover. So that's what's going down lower, and then there's going to be a support off of the top bar that's in the rear part of the chassis here, and that's going to go up and support the corner of the rear window frame and probably out to the quarter panel somewhere. Haven't exactly figured that all out yet. But one thing that is kind of nice about this style setup, at least I think it is, I'm the one building the car, so I think it's nice. If there ever were to be some kind of crash or something gets banged up, even, the car falls off of a jack or something, because we've had it happen. You're in a rush to work on the car and the car falls off the jack and the jack punches through the floor of the car. You don't want it to happen, but sometimes accidents happen. Well, if all of these pieces that we are making right now were welded to the chassis, and say the floor jack goes through the wheel tub and wrecks the wheel tub and the brackets and the trunk filler panel. Well, if all of that was welded to the chassis, it would not be repairable without redoing the powder coat.
Okay, I'll
All right, so that's what we got done today on the Morris Camaro. Almost have at least the top side of the dash mounted. There's going to be a Zeus fastener out here, and I'm also going to build something that goes underneath so that there will be probably a Zeus fastener here, somewhere that's not in the way of the steering column. Do the same thing over there, and then we've got to cut a big hole in this for the dash. And like, I don't know what it is with aftermarket dashes or if factory dashes are like this, but this face is crooked to the driver. Like, I mean, you can even see it on this plastic, like, or not the plastic, but the fiberglass. That is bigger than this. I don't know. It's weird, and we're gonna fix it. And my dad likes playing with fiberglass, so he does a lot of boat stuff, so he's gonna do something with that. Eddie was working on wheel tubs and stuff, which you see what the wheel tub looks like inside of there. On this side, we've got to trim it back to this line right there still, and then it'll have a panel that goes forward and seals it off to the front part of the cage, as well as once we figure that out, we'll work on getting a panel out here, which will probably be later in this video. We're going to keep this video going, make it a long video for Friday. So you can see the bracket Eddie was working on there. It's going to bolt in so that it can be installed or remade if it ever got tweaked. So it bolts down to the tub down there and the bumper, so that's kind of nifty. Ties the bumper and the of course it's not welded yet, so I can't bonk on it, but see, that's the bolt right there where it will bolt, and we'll have some stuff that gets all that sealed and everything. Carbon fiber tubs, woo! And the tunnel is kind of just mocked up again. It's not slid all the way forward into its home, but I wanted to just see what it looked like and see how much I needed to trim off that right there, which I'm going to trim a little bit. But all in all, pretty happy with how that came out today. I was in and out getting kids today, you know, after they get out of school early on Wednesdays, so had to deal with all that. And then back here, the guys are playing with one of their toys. Actually, it's Ricky's toy.
Oh yeah. We're gonna get it running tonight.
Tonight?
Yeah.
That probably won't be on video.
I'm coming for Garza. Oh yeah, he's done.
Well, y'all are both short, so.
Yeah, about the same height. 4'11" and a half.
4'11" and a half. Yeah, we'll go with that.
Missed Eddie sitting around on this stool. See, that's Eddie's stool.
What stool? I'm changing his air filter.
Eddie's
See?
gone up.
I'm doing
If you
something.
have anything to do, Kevin's filming. I need to look like I'm doing something.
Yeah, I'm helping you. I'm gonna help him put this air filter in. Then he's gonna build a roll cage for my car. So that's an even trade.
That's perfectly even. He's gonna do a roll filter and then full cage. Yeah.
There might just be some shenanigans coming with this thing too. We'll have to see. Can't give the secret away just yet, but we've got some ideas of some fun stuff to do with this thing. I actually missed having a dirt bike. I used to have a dirt bike. I'm gonna have to buy another dirt bike.
Well, maybe you hop on this out of the track, and we do a little battle. Who could be the fastest?
Fastest lap time, and then we go do the Lexus. Then we go all battle in the Lexus. This is going somewhere. I like it.
I'm down.
It's been a minute since I rode a dirt bike. I might just break myself. So.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you're definitely throwing your
He's
back
talking
out
about the weather a lot, so he's getting old. You know, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Yep, it's true. It's just when you get old, you can feel the weather.
I can feel it in my knees.
I can feel it in my bones. I'm locking up.
Oh gosh. All right, well, back to work on the Camaro, even though 5 seconds from now will be tomorrow. So. Well, I had planned for there to be another kind of live video section when we came back to work on the car, but we just jumped right into working on the car, trying to get some more and more stuff done on it. And Eddie's back on working on the lower wheel tub mount here, which you can kind of see. And the green line is an auto leveling laser that we use for making sure that, like both wheel tubs where they're going to get cut, that line is going to be even with each other. And we had a piece of angle aluminum that we used when we originally started mounting the tubs into the car, and that located the tubs squarely in the car. So these are ultra carbon fiber wheel tubs, so we know they are equal with each other because, you know, they come out of a mold and everything is nice and true and square. And one nice thing about carbon fiber wheel tubs is that they are really stiff by themselves. Even like an aluminum sheet metal wheel tub, they're kind of floppy, and the carbon fiber tubs will really hold their shape really well. So that's actually really nice for fitting them in the car. And you can see the scalloped strip there that he's using for mock-up. And basically what we are planning to do is make our own scallop strip that'll have that same hole pattern in it, but it's going to bend 90 degrees and go rearward in the car, and it will support the trunk filler panel, which the trunk filler panel is only going to be on the outside of the frame rail, because between the frame rails is going to be a custom built fuel cell that we are going to, you know, work on designing and cutting and shearing and welding all together. So that'll be coming in another video, and we don't even need the fuel cell before we make the mounts for it, since we are building the fuel cell, and I already have an idea of how it's going to mount at the rear and mount at the front. So we do have some tabs coming for all of that, and then we will build the fuel cell to mate to those tabs. So the fuel cell is not holding us up from taking the car to powder coating or anything like that. And really, these pieces that we are making right now, they don't even need to be made before we take the car to powder coat. But we do kind of want to mount the bumper, support the bumper with the mounts, and see if we need to add any extra bracing. But, you know, we could just go and add some extra threaded inserts into the frame rail and have them there as an option. But why do that when it'd be kind of just over and above really what needs to be done to mount the quarter panels and mount the rear bumper? Which, one nice thing about steel roof and quarters is those are a lot stiffer than like a fiberglass or carbon body. Maybe not a carbon fiber body, especially a really nice one, is going to be nice and stiff to where it doesn't move around a whole lot. But, you know, where we're at right now is we're actually going to mount the trunk, because I want the wing to also tie to the chassis. So the back edge of the trunk lid is going to still be steel, and it is going to somehow bolt to the chassis. So that's one thing that we do need to do before we take the body off. So that kind of wraps us all together with getting the bumper mounted, the bumper supported, the quarter panel supported. Make sure all that stuff is where it's going to end up final. And then we can decide what we're going to do with the trunk. Now, what I think I'm going to do with the trunk here tentatively is cut the back edge off, like the vertical section, plus maybe 2 inches going forward. It depends on the wing. We've got to pop the wing out of the box and see how it's going to mount. But then the wing will mount to that back edge of the trunk, and then the front section of the wing will be the fiberglass section, and it will be removable without removing the entire wing from the car. Because this thing, we do have a really nice racecraft wing for it. It's really big. It's going to hang off the back of the car, probably 13 to 15 inches, something like that. It's gonna look awesome, especially because I think it's carbon fiber too. Maybe next video we'll open that up. I guess you'll have to see. So that's all coming, and it's part of this build process of putting everything together and then taking it apart and then putting it back together again and finalizing it. So figured I'd show you guys Eddy chopping and cutting on the other tub, just kind of showing you guys everything that's going into this car, just like we're showing you everything on the Cutlass in our Sunday series of videos. So stay tuned for that on Sunday, and stay tuned for some dirt bike shenanigans at the very end of this video. All right, well, a little more time-lapse action there with Eddy getting the other tub cut. Eddy did work.
I did work.
And I didn't.
Can I leave now?
No,
That's it. Today's Thursday for you, but Friday for me.
Friday for you? You're not here tomorrow?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. So, yeah, it's after 5 o'clock. Ricky's back there making noise. We'll go see Ricky in a minute. I think he's calling us to get back there.
Yeah, I think he is. That's his mating call.
Oh, he just shut it off.
Shut it off.
That was good timing. So, we got a yellow line to cut across the back there, and Eddy drew up some titanium rivet strips that we're going to use to mate the back of the tub to the panels that are going to close this off. So this is going to get trimmed off, and then the carbon panels will fill that all in. And this is the kind of stuff that just eats up time. So you can see the little brackets that we've started with, which the carbon tubs being as stiff as they are, this is just 1/4 inch thick chromoly tubing, and it bolts to the chassis with a threaded insert there, and then it's going to bolt to the fender right there,
And then through here.
yep,
Right,
and you
and
actually
that
can see
hole
all the holes in that there. So lots of little stuff to seal up, because we're going to have to make a panel that closes off here to the bumper, or maybe not. Maybe we just make a piece that goes from here to the center over. Yeah, we got some stuff to figure out. I had planned on fitting the dash some more today, and all I did was nibble around this a little bit more with the grinder, and then I want the dash to go forward about another 1/4 inch. So I've got to fit it a little bit more across the whole windshield joint, or the windshield where those two run into each other. So that'll have to wrap it up for this video, just because I've got to edit this tonight so that it posts on Friday. So I'm being stared at by my youngest daughter, who's ready to go to gymnastics. Are you ready to go to gymnastics? Yeah? You don't want to be on camera? I didn't think so. All right, well, let's go see Ricky's bike real quick.
I'm gonna force him to fire back up.
I doubt you'll have to.
This guy has a bad case of the Kodak Courage. So you put a camera in his face,
Kodak
he will put on limiter. Ricardo, fire this dog back up. Put her on limiter. See, first kick this time now? First kick? Unlike last night?
Oh, second, third. Oh,
I gave a gas. It's my fault.
oh.
Doesn't need gas anymore.
Come on. People are watching.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. Now you guys tell me all work.
You're not kicking it very hard.
What
Oh.
hurts?
Huh?
My foot hurts.
He kicked it a lot.
Look at your little soft shoes. Maybe you need a real shoe. Oh, there it is.
Needs more idle in it for sure.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Garza would have had this thing fired up in 2 kicks.
Oh, well,
Garza
would have had it in 2 kicks?
Yeah.
Well, let's go park like that though.
This thing's been running for a total of like maybe 5 minutes.
Needs a tire, I think.
Yeah, but I think we have to destroy that one first.
Okay, not this video though.
No, not this thing.
Alright, so another video, there's gonna be some dirt bike shenanigans. So, yeah. Anyways, that'll wrap it up for this video. I gotta go home or take my youngest to gymnastics. And then we'll be back here working tomorrow. So appreciate everybody watching, subscribing, following along. See you guys next time.
I mean, it's still cold, so it's gonna want to idle high.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, you do that.
Look at that.
I got my mechanic on duty, getting me going. Factory, baby, we're factory. Woo! It's 12 o'clock. Keep running. That's why I see Kawasaki in front of a Ford. Don't get rid of that, brother. Woo!
All right, I had to comment after that last clip. I hope you guys enjoyed that because I had a really good laugh at it.